Welcome to The Edit with your host, Vivian Cole. Brought to you by Vogue Media Agency, the podcast where branding, visibility, and influence are curated with intention. Each week, we cut through the noise to explore strategy, storytelling, and what it really takes to build a brand that's seen, heard, and remembered.
Welcome to a special episode of The Edit. I'm Vivian Cole, and today, in honor of Black History Month, we're having a deeper conversation about legacy, ownership, and narrative power. Because Black history is not just something we remember, it's something we continue to build. And one of the most powerful tools we have in shaping the future is control over our own stories. Narrative is power. Always has been. Who tells the story decides what matters. Who is remembered, who is credited, who is erased. For generations, Black contributions have been filtered, diluted, or reframed through someone else's lens. Our brilliance has often been acknowledged without ownership, our culture celebrated without compensation, our labor extracted without legacy. So when we talk about branding, business, and leadership through a Black History Month lens, we're not just talking about marketing. We're talking about authorship. We're talking about authority. We're talking about the right to define ourselves on our own terms. Legacy begins with story, but ownership determines whether that story lasts. Legacy is not only about what you leave behind, it's about what you build while you're here that cannot be easily taken from you. It's the systems, structures, and narratives that continue to speak even when you're no longer in the room. And this is where many people misunderstand influence. Influence without ownership is fragile. Visibility without control is temporary. Impact without infrastructure is vulnerable. True authority comes when your story is not just told, but protected, positioned, and passed forward. Let's talk about ownership. Ownership is more than assets. It's more than trademarks or contracts or platforms. Ownership is the ability to decide how your work is framed, where your voice lives, who benefits from your labor, how your contributions are remembered. When you own your brand, your content, your platform, and your intellectual property, you are not just building income, you are building legacy. And legacy matters because history is selective. What survives is rarely accidental. Brands that last are intentional about documentation, positioning, and continuity. They understand that authority is built over time, but protected through structure. This applies whether you are an entrepreneur, a creative, a nonprofit leader, a professional, or a community builder. If your work is meaningful, it deserves permanence. If your voice is powerful, it deserves preservation. If your impact is real, it deserves recognition that outlives trends and algorithms. Now let's talk about narrative power. Narrative power is the ability to define your value before someone else defines it for you. When you don't control your narrative, others will simplify it, or stereotype it, or misunderstand it, or profit from it without credit. But when you own your narrative, you move from being interpreted to being authoritative. You stop asking for permission to be understood. You stop shrinking your message to be palatable. You stop performing your worth. Instead, your brand speaks with clarity. Your work stands on its own. Your presence carries weight. This is especially important for Black founders, Black creatives, and Black leaders, because too often our excellence is expected to speak quietly, while others amplify freely. But legacy does not whisper. Legacy is documented. Legacy is deliberate. Legacy is defended. And that brings us to alignment. Alignment is the bridge between purpose and power. When your values, voice, and visibility are aligned, your brand becomes a reflection, not a performance. You are no longer chasing validation. You are operating from self-trust. And self-trust is revolutionary, because it allows you to build without constantly explaining yourself. It allows you to set boundaries without guilt. It allows you to say no to opportunities that don't honor your long-term vision. Aligned brands don't rush. They don't mimic. They don't dilute their message to fit rooms they've already outgrown. They understand that authority is not built by volume. It's built by consistency, clarity, and credibility.
Thanks for listening to The Edit with Vivian Cole, brought to you by Vogue Media Agency. Be sure to subscribe for more insights, share this episode with your network, and join us next week for another conversation on building brands with clarity, confidence, and impact. Visit voguemedia.us.
Vogue Media Agency offers comprehensive services to help small to medium-sized businesses, faith-based and nonprofit organizations, content creators, and entrepreneurs establish and grow their online presence. Focusing on website design, landing pages, social media management, podcast training, branding, weblog creation, and public relations, Vogue Media Agency provides a convenient one-stop solution for clients looking to elevate their digital footprint. What sets us apart is our personalized service and niche expertise. We are your marketing consultants. Contact us today.
To contact Vogue Media Agency, call 212-470-2730 or visit voguemedia.us.